Have you ever thought about how the buildings we live in or even the objects we use could tell a story? Our story? Today, we're diving into a really powerful essay all about that, about reviving cultural identity through design. And it all kicks off with one single, profound question. And this is the question that just hits you, right? It's at the absolute heart of everything we're about to explore. It's really a challenge, asking us to look past all the fleeting trends and wonder, can the things we create actually bring us back to our roots? It's a beautiful thought, isn't it? Okay, so to even begin to answer that, you've got to understand something fundamental. Design has never, ever existed in a vacuum. It's always a response to the world around it. And the proof? It's everywhere. It's literally written in the walls of our buildings.
Let's take a real-world example. Head over to the scorching deserts of Rajasthan in India. The environment there is basically screaming for a way to deal with the intense heat. And the result? These beautiful, functional, thick adobe walls you see in traditional homes, called havelis. They were designed specifically to keep the inside naturally cool. It's a perfect case of form following function, which follows culture and climate. Now, let's jump to a totally different climate, the monsoon-heavy south of India. Here, the challenge wasn't the heat, it was the relentless rain. And that directly led to these iconic sloped roofs you see in Kerala, which are engineered to shed all that water super efficiently. So you see, right? This isn't just an architect thinking, oh, sloped roofs look cool. No, it's a story of survival and smart adaptation. But here's the thing. The environment that shapes our designs, it's not just about rain or sun. It's also about the cultural climate, the philosophy of a place. A perfect example is the Japanese idea of wabi-sabi. It's this really deep, beautiful concept of finding beauty in things that are imperfect, that are temporary, that are incomplete. And this is where it gets really, really cool. How does a modern architect capture an ancient philosophy like that? Well, look at what Tadao Ando did with his famous row house. He used raw, unfinished concrete, a totally modern material, to create that timeless feeling of wabi-sabi. That's the magic trick right there. It feels brand new and centuries old all at the same time. So this whole idea, this dance between the past and the present, for the author of this essay, this wasn't just some abstract thought. It actually became a very personal journey, one that forced them to really confront their own creative identity. At first they were all about modernism. Think about the clean lines, the logical grid of a city like Chandigarh. It was designed to be a symbol of a new, forward-looking, independent India. The whole idea was like, let's wipe the slate clean and start fresh. But that led to this really frustrating question. The author could look at these incredibly beautiful, intricate, ancient temples and love them, but at the same time they saw modern Indian design as, well, stuck. It was either just rigidly copying the past or throwing it all away completely. It felt like it had just lost its way. It forgot how to evolve. And this slide just lays out that whole conflict perfectly. On the one hand, you have the amazing detailed work of traditional carvings, gorgeous, but locked in the past. And on the other, you have something like the Louvre Abu Dhabi. It uses traditional Arab patterns for that massive light-filtering dome, but it's built with totally cutting-edge tech. It's just undeniable proof that you don't have to choose. Heritage and innovation can absolutely work together. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. Okay, but how do you actually do it? How do you take a really powerful cultural symbol, like the lotus flower, which represents purity in Indian art, and weave it into a sleek, modern design without it feeling cheesy or, worse, losing its deep, authentic meaning? Now that is the real puzzle for any designer. And you know what's so cool? This whole challenge, this beautiful push and pull between past and present, it's not just about buildings. It's happening everywhere, across every single creative field you can imagine. Seriously, this fusion is happening all over the world, in pretty much every art form, from the clothes we wear to the music we listen to. Let's just rip through a few quick examples of this global dance in action. Okay, take fashion. You've got designers like Sabyasachi, who are absolute masters of this. They take these centuries-old Indian embroidery techniques and apply them to completely modern global silhouettes. And the stuff he creates, it's just stunning. It feels totally new, but you can feel the history woven right into it. Or what about music? Look at Yo-Yo Ma's Silk Road Ensemble. They create something completely new by fusing ancient folk instruments and melodies from Asia with the structures of Western classical music. It's literally a conversation between cultures, but instead of words, they're using music. And that brings us right back where we started with architecture. check out the National Museum of Qatar. The building's incredible, mind-bending geometry is inspired by a natural formation called the Desert Rose. So it's this high-tech marvel that tells a story that's literally as old as the desert sands, honoring the region's Bedouin heritage. So after going on this whole journey, from that personal struggle to seeing these amazing global examples, the author lands on this really powerful resolution. And it's more than just a conclusion, it's a personal pledge.
And it's not just a vague idea. It's a super clear 3-step commitment. First, you've got to dive deep into the regional roots of a place. Second, don't just copy the symbols you see. Decode them. Understand their stories. And finally, and this is the most important part, use that knowledge to craft spaces that feel like they genuinely, authentically belong. In this quote, this is really the heart of it all. Design isn't just about making things look good. It's a huge responsibility. It's this promise to build a future that doesn't just forget where it came from, but actually finds its strength in that beautiful harmony between where we've been and where we're going. And that's the perfect place to leave it by turning that question back to you. So next time you're walking around, just look at the buildings, at the fashion, at the art in your world. How do you see your own culture, your own heritage reflected in the design that surrounds you every day? It's definitely a question worth asking.